Hey, okay. This is something that time management is something that you should think about almost every day. So today I want to talk about time management. Time management is so important because it really determines your ability to be successful. How much productivity do you get done? How much work do you crank out in a day? Now, normally, if you have a regular work, we talk a lot about having a side income in real estate. So if you are working your regular job, normally your time management at your regular job is okay because you have to do that. You've got some kind of accountability or supervision there, possibly. So, usually, although, it's funny because I read a statistic that something like 33%, like a third of the time people spend at work is not spent on work activities. I think it was on the computer, like a third of the time people spend on the computer at work, they're not doing work activities. I mean, literally, some people are watching movies, or they're doing emails, or looking on Facebook or whatever. So time management is crucial. Now, what just changed recently, that I'm making sure I'm not on mute. One thing changed recently in our yearly schedule that changes time management for a lot of people, and that's football. Okay, football came back, and so there's a lot of men, mostly men, who follow football. There's a lot of guys who have fantasy football teams who get all into that. Some people are into the college football and the pro football. So basically, the whole weekend is like, potentially taken up with football and watching football. And so football can be very consuming. A lot of people are big football fans. Now I'm a big football fan for one team, and I watch that one team, but that can be even just watching and following one team and not doing the fantasy and not doing anything else can take up a lot of time that it wasn't taken up before. So I want you guys to be aware of how football is changing your life, and also with your appointments. Now, a lot of our real estate business happens on the weekends and mostly Saturdays. Although Sundays too, sometimes we do our 1 hour open houses on a Saturday. So if you've got the big local game in your area, the big local football team, like if you have a big college, like if you're in Alabama or Auburn or Notre Dame in Indiana, if you're in one of those cities, North South Bend, where some of these colleges are, I mean, it's going to be hard to do business on Saturdays because everybody's going to be focused on the game. And same thing on Sundays. If you have a big pros team that does really well, like if you live in Kansas City, people are just crazy about the Chiefs in Kansas City. So if you're working Kansas City and the Chiefs are on at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, chances are that's going to possibly put a wrinkle into your real estate schedule. So be aware of time management, a lot of different factors, but football definitely plays a factor in potentially your time management. So I want you to be aware if all of a sudden now you have 4 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours or more, now all of a sudden going towards a different activity, and this is going to last for the next 4 months or something. So it's good to be aware of that, and you got to make it up somewhere. I mean, you got to realize, hey, I can't take all this time away from my real estate and not make it up somewhere. And because most of real estate is done on the weekend, that can be challenging. So make sure, especially Saturday. I always say if you can work 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday, and it doesn't have to be during the game, if you can work 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday, that is some of the most productive, best time you will ever do. People pick up their phone a lot more on Saturday. A lot of times we can talk to somebody on a Saturday, like in the morning, and say, hey, what are you doing right now? Can we come and look at the house right now? We've bought houses where we just talked to the person the first time Saturday morning, and we went over there and bought the house on Saturday. So that's why I don't want you guys to lose your weekend, especially you guys who are big football fans. Okay. Hey, everybody. So how are you doing? Just being aware of time management. Now, I'm going to talk about one more thing on time management, but good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Charles, great to see you. Hey, good morning, Brian and friends. Yeah, I love that. Okay, Isabel. Hey, not sure why I always miss when after videos start, yet I'm sitting here with the Facebook open. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm always a couple of minutes. I'm not exactly on time usually. Facebook does that for some reason. Oh, so do you guys not get me right from the start? So you can log in, but it's a little bit of a lag, so I come in a little bit after the opening. Is that what happens? I actually don't, I have not experienced that. So hey, Lucky, good to see you here, buddy. Thanks for calling my leads last month. Oh yeah, Lucky, you turned in some amazing leads. Listen, guys, we have another one of those events. Those are every 2 months we do those events. And so, if you guys can turn in leads, it just really helps us a lot. These are the folks that are in this event are mostly all new people. And we're trying to tell them on the first day of the event to go call FSBOs during lunch and then bring them back for the night session. And a lot of times they don't have enough time. They don't really understand what they're doing so well, where you guys do. You actually can have a VA calling, or you can be calling your FSBOs. So our next event is coming up. If you want to start planning in advance, it's October 4th. So if you guys want to, it's still a ways off, but it's about 3 weeks away. So if you start to accumulate leads that you want us to call on, we would love to do that. So again, we do that event every 2 months. So that's great. And yeah, but I am curious about what Facebook is doing. Yeah, that event is in October. So let me know. I started a Facebook ad campaign a few days ago and got about 8 leads. Marketing full price for nice houses. Wow, Lucky, you know what? I would love it if you would send me an email and let me know, just send me a little like testimonial email about what you're doing there, what your Facebook ad looks like, and what areas you're targeting. I mean, 8 leads off Facebook ads, that's great. If those are seller leads, I'm assuming. So if you can get seller leads. Now, I will say, guys, that the market has been a little bit more favorable for what we do because of it's been a little slower out there mostly because of interest rates. So I want you guys to be aware that you may get some good responses on your marketing for sure. Okay, you will. Thank you. All right, awesome. Raleigh. Okay, that's great. Raleigh Market. Did you get my testimonial email? You know what, Isabel? Can you resend me that? I don't know if I got that. Resend that for me today if you can. Maybe something to do with StreamYard. Okay, that's right, because I'm coming through StreamYard, so maybe Facebook has a tiny bit of a lag. But then I'm assuming that you can go back and watch the beginning later, I think. Yeah, they all follow up. Nice. Okay, way to go, Lucky. That is great. Yes, many houses not selling now. Yes, so you guys, that's what's happening. I mean, remember, if interest rates were 3% like they used to be, the market would be, houses would be flying off the shelf. So we wouldn't have these motivated sellers so much, right? Okay, so money is in the follow-up, folks. That's what Lucky says. Good point, Lucky. Yes. I always watch. Awesome. All right, so guys, that's a lot of great participation today. I will share some good points moving forward of anything that I get there, and let's all have a great fall. Now, people are getting back to school. Summer's over now, so people are getting a little bit more focused about getting stuff done. I think people are sometimes in summer, it's actually hard to get a hold of people. People are not so focused, but I think they're back focused now to getting whatever done, selling the house. And so I think it's easier to get a hold of sellers now, and people want to take action and move forward. So it's a good time to be taking action. So let's all take action. I take action. Let's do that for our affirmation. Well, no, let's do, we were starting to talk about time management. We kind of got off of that, but I use my time wisely. Okay, let's stick to that. And, like I said, if you are a football fan, and I admit I am a football fan, just be aware of all that time that you are devoting to that, and even following up and watching all the highlights. It's not even just the game, it's the highlights and the commentary. And then I got to watch the Vikings podcast or whatever it is, so look at how much time that's taking and make sure that you're not letting that take time away from your real estate. All you got to do with your real estate, literally, if you put in between 5 hours and 10 hours a week, that's more than enough to do deals. And, if it's a focused 5 hours, that's plenty. You can make a lot of phone calls and talk to a lot of people and post a lot of ads and do quite a bit in 5 hours. So there's no reason you have to sacrifice your life. You don't have to say, oh no, I can't watch my football. You can watch your football. Just make sure that, you're still putting at least 5 hours in on your real estate of focused time. Okay. I use my time wisely. Okay. So let's say that 3 times on 3. That's our affirmation. Okay. Ready? I use my time wisely. 1, 2, 3. I use my time wisely. I use my time wisely. I use my time wisely. Yes. All right. Good job. Now remember, use trigger affirmations and trigger gestures to get into the right mindset, and do your deep breathing. That's always great. Let's do our deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Hold it a little bit and let it go. Okay, another one. It always makes me smile and it feels so good doing deep breathing, because you just fill your lungs up with fresh air. It feels so good. Your body loves it, and it's free. There's no reason not to do it at least a few times a day. It's a good health tip. All right, so awesome, guys. Thanks for all your wonderful comments today. Really great. Thank you, Lucky. And remember, about 3 weeks out, so if you start getting some leads and you start thinking about us in a couple of weeks, definitely we'd love to call on your leads on October 4th. All right, so I will see you guys soon. Until then, I'll see you on Friday. Until then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and